Hello guys, in last two videos I discussed regarding the two types of virtualization, that is full virtualization with binary translation, and then it was the para virtualization or the OS assisted virtualization. Now in this video I'll be discussing regarding the hardware assisted virtualization, that is the HVM in cloud computing. So to understand these concepts, stay tuned to my channel. This is Ranjiraj and you're streaming on the Study Beast. So first of all, let us move on to this diagram and why this approach is used as an alternative to binary translation for full virtualization. Now, whatever you see in blue in this diagram, you need to draw that, and rest of the things in black is just drawn for the representation purpose, so that you need not consider. So, for understanding and for to tell this things how this works, so that's why I've drawn these things. So first of all, the diagram remains the same for OS assisted and the uh, all the previous two types of virtualization. The diagram remains the same. You have this rings, ring 0, ring 1, ring 2, ring 3, 4 rings you have, and these blocks you have user apps, then these two rings and the guest OS. And these two are rarely used. It's for some backup or for null. It is mostly kept as null for any critical or for any backup purpose. These two rings are used. Now in those videos I've been telling you there are these four rings. So these four rings are called as protection rings in the kernel level. So whenever in hypervisor, if these three rings comes, or you may be asked in Viva, like these three rings are called what? Then this is called as the protection rings. So these are the four protection rings for each of the types of virtualization, that is the for para virtualization, full virtualization, and hardware assisted virtualization. So these are the protection rings you get to know. So that is one thing. And mainly there are two mode privileges. That is, first you have the non-root mode privilege levels called as OP, and then you have the root mode privilege levels called as the OD. So these are the two privilege levels. Now, why I have told these privilege levels in this topic only? Why not in the other two? Because these two privilege levels comes only in picture when you switch it to the hardware assisted, or when there is any need for any hardware to assist for the virtualization process. These two levels or the mode comes into picture. So, well, that's all about this diagram. And then you have the direct execution of the user request. If it is a user app, then you can directly execute the host computer system hardware. Else, if it switches from the guest OS or within the guest OS from ring 0, it will directly go to the VMM. And now, in this kind of virtualization in hardware assisted, the VMM is configured in such a way that it can trap all the privileged and the sensitive instruction calls, and thereby it will remove the need for any binary translation or para virtualization to assist with it. Now entire thing can be handled by the hardware itself, and so there is no need for any secondary para virtualization, that is for any other OS or any binary translation for capturing those requests or for that instructions. So well, that is the hardware HVM assisted hardware approach to x86 architecture for virtualization. Now let us talk about this theory and why this is used. Now in binary translation, I have told that all the non-virtualized instructions are replaced by kernel code instructions, and these are intended by the programmer, and so it also has an adverse effect to the virtual hardware. And by this, the performance of the system, or when you do the virtualization by using binary translation and then you do the activity, the performance of that entire system is degraded to a very bad level. So to take out that, we have introduced this HVM in cloud computing, that is the hardware assisted virtualization method. Now in this, what happens is that any changes, any dynamic changes which are done to the state are completely removed, and calls are directly given to the VMM, and this VMM are capable to handle any of this privilege and the sensitive instructions given to it. And so that is the main feature or the main advantage of this HVM, that is the hardware assisted virtualization technique. Now, there are two examples of this. That is, one you have from the Intel and another you have from the advanced micro devices, that is the AMD. From the Intel, you have the Intel VTX, that is the Virtualization Technology X Intel Xeon, and from AMD, you have the AMD V. Now, these two do this kind of operations that they separate these four rings and this below portion, and they name it as the non-privileged uh, root levels, and these are the root mode privilege levels. Now these are called as OP. OP stands for operation privileged, that is privileged root mode, that is below ring 0, that is up till ring 0 or all above ring 0 called as the OP, that is operation privileged, and above ring 0. Now this is also part of ring 0, but there are no protection rings considered here. Only it is named as the OD, that is deprivileged non-root mode. So only these are the non-root mode and these are the root mode privilege levels. So that is mainly here. So there is one mistake here. That is the this is the privileged root mode. So it is the privilege levels, and this is the non-privileged. Both are the privileged, but some have some kind of limitations got here, such as not more than few of the instructions are handled here, but majority of those are handled here. So that's why this has some lower privilege levels, while these are have some the higher amount of privilege levels. Now all the privileged and the sensitive calls are handled and routed over here, and the hypervisor or the VMM is configured in such a way that it can track all the instructions handled by itself, and there is no need for any binary translation or any para virtualization technique to track these kind of instructions. Now, uh, what this hardware assisted, or basically what is this hardware feature? So this hardware feature is mainly this separation of this protection rings from this below level, that is working at the non-root mode privilege level and working at the root mode privilege level. So these are exhibited by each and every individual hardware, and this is the very first generation of feature found in each of this hardwares. And so when you mainly use this Intel's Xeon or the AMD V, you can have this feature. That is the very basic first generation feature, and this may be limited to 64-bit guest OS on Intel processors. In some limited cases, you have for 64-bit, but in most of the 32-bit cases, this technique or this partition and operation works perfectly and very fine. So, well, this was all about the hardware-assisted virtualization in cloud computing. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Found this video helpful. Please hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Thanks for watching this video.